We have Max Pacioretty and Braden McNabb with us. Please use the raise hand function to ask a question. We'll start with Brian Blessing.
Hey, Braden, can you just describe the goal, what you read when you pinched down low? What did you see?
I knew I had their forward beat, and Carly made a great play, and I just wanted to get on net. And the ref kind of got my way there. So it was, a big goal, and just happy to contribute.
We'll go to Ben Goetz.
Hey, Max. What did you think of Robin coming in and playing his first game in basically 3 weeks tonight?
I think first and foremost, everything has to be said about Robin's attitude this whole time. He's been the number one cheerleader on the team when he wasn't playing. His positivity has rubbed off on us, and so for him to go in there tonight and be the player that we know he is was huge for our team, and just so happy to see a guy like that get rewarded because he truly deserves it.
We'll go to Mark Spector.
Yeah, Max, what about it's kind of a funny series. I guess they're all a little bit funny, but, the last game, I thought you guys were by far the better team, and you lost the game in overtime. Tonight, I'm not sure if you were the better team 360, but you hung in there and you win it in overtime. Is this, not much to pick here between these clubs, huh?
No, I mean, that's hockey, especially. A lot has been said about the way they play, and they're really hard to get on the inside against, and they play a shutdown game. So we're not really expecting these high-scoring games that you might see in other series, and even some of our other series. We know that it's going to be a low-scoring game for the most part, and we have to take advantage of those opportunities when we can get them. And it's hard, like I said, it's hard to get to the blue paint, but we got to do the best job that we can get in there, and having poison. I think a good example of that would be Navar's goal, and also the overtime goal where Wazzy stuck with it and battled it out there in the blue paint.
We'll go to Jesse Granger.
Hey, Max, you kind of talked about Nick's goal, but can you just take me through what you saw in that play, and also just how happy were you guys for him to get the game winner in Quebec?
Yeah, I mean, couldn't write a better script than that for a guy like that. He's a huge part of this team, and whether he's scoring big goals or playing really good defensive hockey, he's a very important player for our team. He's a Swiss Army knife where he can contribute in all areas of the rink. And I heard from a couple of guys up top that his parents were pretty happy about that, and that's really cool to see because, like I said, he's a guy that sometimes flies under the radar but does so much for our club, and to do it in your home province is pretty special.
We'll go to David Shane.
Hi, Braden. At 1-0, Lehner made a save on Caulfield. When you guys as players see a save like that, what kind of lift does it give you? And did you feel like you guys fed off that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. There was multiple times where he made big saves, especially in the first. And, that breakaway save was huge. It gave us a chance. We were able to battle back.
Our last question for these guys will be from Brian Blessing.
Max, on the game-winning goal, they had them pinned in there for about a minute. Then you jumped on the ice. When you get on the ice like that with fresh legs and the defense is tired, I mean, do you sense an opportunity?
Yeah, you definitely sense an opportunity, and that's similar to a second period situation with the long change, and we know what we can do in second period. We've done it all year, and for the most part, they're playing 4D and trying to match lines, so we knew that get fresh legs over the boards as quick as possible in overtime, similar to those second period plays, and you're going to have a chance to get a little bit more ice and a little bit more space than you're usually used to, and that's what happened on that goal. And normally they probably have a little bit more energy to pin you against the glass, but as you mentioned, end of a shift for them, and fresh legs.
Thanks very much, Max and Braden. We now have Robin Lehner with us. Please use the raise hand function. We'll start with Jesse Granger.
Hey, Robin, obviously not a lot of action lately. You were busy early. How did you feel early, and did you think that kind of allowed you to get into a rhythm?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you get some action in the beginning, it's always nice to kind of get going. I think that's one of the challenges sometimes in this team. We're as a goalie, we're such a possession-heavy team where we can go almost a period with dominating, and then there's some chances. Those can be tough. So it's always nice to get some shots and kind of get into it.
We'll go to Ed Graney.
Robin, obviously at the time it seemed big, but then it really seemed huge when you stopped Caulfield on the breakaway. I think you tried to go 5-0. Can you take us through that stop as you saw him coming?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a world-class player coming down. You just try to play it even like I played the first goal. Just challenge him, and in the pre-scout, it's kind of, either he goes high or he goes 5-0. So it's kind of looked like he was going 5-0. So I got to close my legs. So that was good.
We'll go to Ben Goetz.
Hey, Robin. Obviously, your first playoff start didn't go as you hoped. I guess how motivated were you to kind of bounce back tonight?
For me, it's just another game, another opportunity to go out and help this team and this organization win a game and go one game closer to get to the Cup Finals. It's I don't care about the other game. We know the circumstance. I don't think that game that I played in Colorado would have ended much differently with anyone else in the net. So it was a hard-fought series against Minnesota, and obviously I wasn't at my best, but I was in the best circumstances. So you got to let those things go, and then just been trying to work hard and be a good teammate and support Fleury, and when I get a chance, just do my best for the team here.
Go to Brian Blessing.
Robin, the early rebound goal you stopped that they reviewed, you couldn't see the puck. Your glove was either in the net or right on the line. Were you worried when they were reviewing that? And what were you thinking during the review? And are you convinced you stopped it there?
No, I wasn't. I actually turned around and asked the ref if it was in or not. He said it wasn't. So then I went up to the bench and they said it wasn't. I wasn't sure. Because, yeah, again, I saw my glove was right on the line, and you never know if it's a little bit over or not. So it was nice when the coaches said that it was good.
Take two more for Robin. We'll go to David Shane.
Hi, Robin. Max just had praised you for your attitude over the last couple of weeks and just kind of being a cheerleader for the team. How have you seen, your role the last couple of weeks, and what has that been like for you?
Oh, it's been great. We're on a Stanley Cup journey with a great team, great organization, great guys. It doesn't matter for me. Truly, in my heart, I don't care if I'm on the bench or if in the net. I'll do the best I can for the team, and that's what people don't understand. It's a team game. This whole thing, it's just everything's so blown out of proportion with the whole thing here. It's I don't care. I couldn't care less. Flower been absolutely outstanding. It's the reason why we're here with a lot of the other guys, and when you get a chance to come in and help, it's great. And you just do what you can for the team, whatever position you're in, and that's what it's about. And that's what I hope the whole city will just bind and do. Just it's all for the team.
Last questions from Mark Spector.
No, but it was a very, it's a courageous decision. Don't take this the wrong way. It's a courageous decision by Pete DeBoer to go away from a number one goalie in the middle of a series like this. That must, it must feel good to have a coach willing to take that risk. Not that you're a risky guy, but you know what I mean. You go away from Fleury. He's played great, and they replaced the goalie in Game 4. How did you feel about that? Is there extra pressure when you're Robin Lehner in this game?
No, it was great. Not many people know. I come to the game 4 hours early. I get up my own bus, come 4 hours early. I sat for 2 hours and watch you guys talk shit on Twitter on me, to get me motivated. And it was great. Just to see all what you guys had to say. And, you know, I don't care what people think. It's been kind of a weird season with concussion and my surgery and stuff like that. But, you know, I've been battling hard lately to, you know, just be a good teammate and being as good as possible. And, you know, it's a great motivation for me. I don't do the flashiest saves and all those things, but, you know, before this season, ever since I got out of rehab and even before that in Buffalo, I've been putting up some pretty good numbers. And people act like that I'm not very good, especially in our own town. But, you know, I have a lot from the team, my teammates and my coaches, and me and Flower has gotten really close this year, you know, supporting each other, and we don't care about the noise. So it's just great motivation for me. It was very enjoyable on Twitter today. And thank you guys very much for giving me that motivation.
Thanks very much, Robin.
Thank you.
We now have Nicholas Roy and Alex Tuch with us. Please use the raise hand function. We'll start with Ben Goetz.
Hey, Nick, what were just your emotions like, not only scoring an overtime goal, but obviously doing it in Montreal of all places?
Oh, that was unbelievable. I got my family in here. I know they were really happy, and I know we wanted to win pretty bad there. So we battled back in the third, and we're ready for overtime. So it's a nice feeling for sure.
We'll go to Jesse Granger.
Nick, along those lines, who did you have at the game tonight?
I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Who did you have at the game today?
I had my both my parents, my sister, my father and mother-in-law, and brother-in-law as well. So it was nice to have them in the stands here.
We'll go to Brian Blessing.
Nick, Price makes a big save on the first chance you had. Then you've got the patience to the side of the net. You didn't like really bury it. It was just a little soft flip. Make sure you got it over Price and the fallen defenseman.
Yeah, I saw. I tried to shoot it the first one, and I saw him falling down. So I just waited a second there, and I just flipped it over, and it worked.
We'll go to John Morosi.
Thank you. Nicholas, how would you describe your hometown of Amos, Quebec, and what do you think the reaction was like there this evening?
It's a pretty small town. I guess everybody knows pretty much everybody. So I receive a lot of support, a lot of text message, of course, and coming from a nice town and a lot of great people. So it's really nice the support I got from them.
We'll go to David Shane.
Hi, Alex. Two-parter, just what can you say about Robin's performance and maybe just, how important this win was for you guys, obviously backs against the wall and being able to get home ice back?
I just heard Robin's last comment, and I thought he played unbelievable tonight. He had a really big stop on a breakaway on the third period. He kept us in it all night long, especially through the first two periods. I thought he stood on top of his head. Obviously, in the playoffs, he's been our second goaltender, and he's only played one game this playoffs before tonight. And he showed up big for us. It doesn't matter who's in the net for us. We know that they're going to come out and have a heck of a game, and we're going to support him no matter what. He's a great player, and he's a great teammate. He's been supportive through everything this year. So I got to give him a lot of respect for that. And, he just played an unbelievable game tonight.
We'll go to Mark Spector.
Yeah, Nicholas, you come from a little town in Quebec. It's I think by the looks of it, like 10,000 people. You grow up, you must have been a Habs fan growing up. Maybe you could just tell us what it's like. I know you scored lots of goals in your life, but you haven't scored many overtime goals in Montreal before. What's it like for a kid from Amos, Quebec to end that game in the Bell Center?
No, like I said, that's unbelievable. I always dream about scoring at the Bell Center, doing it in overtime, and in the series there in semifinals, it's even better. So it's really nice, like I said, to get the win for the boys, and we battled back. So yeah, that's a big win.
Go to John Worrell.
Yes, hi, this is for Alex. You talked about hearing Robin's comment at the end, and you've got, him being doubted. You've got Max Pacioretty getting booed, and both of them play a significant role, with Max helping, playing a key role in setting up Nick's goal. What's that say about your team right now, and just how those guys responded?
It doesn't matter what the outside noise is. We just lean on each other. Our confidence comes from within the room. With that being said, we do get a lot of confidence and momentum from our fans, but there's a lot of doubters out there. There's a lot of people that doubted us last round, going down 2-1 against the Habs. There's a lot of people that doubted our abilities going into the game tonight, and being down 1-0 after 2 periods just shows how resilient of a group we are, and how no matter what's going on, we can block out the noise and keep pushing for a win. Max has been a leader ever since he got traded here. Same with Robin. Personally, I look up to both those guys and lean on them for a lot of wisdom. But you know what? They showed up big for us tonight, and that's what we need. And that's what we're going to get out of them, I know, for sure, going forward.
We'll go to Stormy Bonatny.
Hey, this is for Alex as well. Can you just describe the emotion at the end of this game and what it was all just flowing through your veins? Because the reactions were pretty priceless as you guys were headed off the ice and tied the series.
Yeah, well, I was a little confused because the refs were looking at something, and I was figuring out what could have went on, and I knew I was right near the crease, so I was asking our coaching staff, did I interfere with the goalie or something? And but it was pretty crazy watching Nick over here have unbelievable poise with that puck and just flipping it in. I was just standing right there, and it was like everything was happening in slow motion. And then it was a huge reaction from our bench. And you know what? That's what we need going forward, is that energy and that momentum. And we're going to carry it into Game 5 for sure.
Take a couple more for the guys. Guillaume Lepage.
Salut Nicolas, vous avez été un des trios les plus menaçants encore ce soir. Est-ce que vous sentez en ce moment que vous avez le pouvoir de générer du momentum pour l'équipe? Puis comment est-ce que la présence d'Alex influence votre manière de jouer?
Je pense que oui. Je pense que c'est notre rôle. On est 3 gars qui patinent, qui sont assez physiques, qui aiment ça faire des jeux. Fait qu'on essaie à chaque fois qu'on est sur la glace de faire des jeux, d'être difficile à jouer contre. Puis avec Alex, un gars comme ça, c'est une 3e ligne. Qui pourrait jouer sur une 1re ou 2e ligne dans pas mal d'équipes dans la ligue. On est vraiment chanceux. Il y a même beaucoup d'offensives. Fait que non, je pense que ça va se faire bien.
Last question will be Richard Labbé.
Oui, salut Nicolas, tu as parlé en anglais déjà du but, de ce que ça veut dire pour toi. C'est un moment, c'est dur à battre dans une carrière, j'imagine. Où tu le places, ce but-là, là, pour toi? Je sais que ça vient d'arriver, là, mais j'imagine que tu n'as jamais vécu une sensation comme celle-là.
Non, je pense pas. Comme je l'ai dit un petit peu en anglais, tu rêves quand tu es jeune de faire un but au Centre Bell contre les Canadiens. C'est encore moins de le faire en demi-finale des séries en prolongation. Donc, c'est sûr que c'est un petit peu un rêve. Puis, les gars, on voulait vraiment aller chercher cette victoire-là. Puis, on a réussi à le faire. Donc, c'est sûr qu'on est content et on va être prêt pour le prochain match.
Thanks very much, guys. Coach will be up in a minute. We have Coach Peter DeBoer with us. Please use the raise hand function. We'll start with Ben Goetz.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Pete. Can you get into a little bit your decision to start Robin Lehner tonight, and what do you think of his performance?
Well, he was excellent. I knew he'd be good. You know, there was a lot of things went into it. We just played, I think tonight was our 17th game in 33, 34 nights. You know, we wouldn't be here without Flower and how he's played for us. But it's a lot of hockey and 2 emotional series that were both really hard fought. You know, when you look at the numbers in the league, I think he's tied with Vasilevsky for most starts in the playoffs so far, and he's 10 years older than Vasilevsky. So, you know, for me, knowing Lenny, knowing how hard he's worked, knowing the goalie he is, you know, the gamble to play him, having not played a lot lately was, you know, no bigger than the gamble of playing a fatigued, in my mind, goalie, you know, with no rest really on the horizon.
Go to Ed Graney.
Hey, Ed.
Pete, Max talked about this, and then Robin somewhat talked about this, but when you make this decision, I guess how easy is it that he actually was a good teammate, as Max said all along, that you didn't have to deal with someone, at least outwardly, that wanted to play or was negative about it? They said he was the best teammate as he sat.
Robin, you mean?
Yes, it's Robin.
Yeah, he was excellent. I mean, you know what? Listen, he might have the toughest job in hockey, playing behind you know, a legend in Flower, and how he's handled that, I think, has earned the respect of everybody in our dressing room. And that's not stuff that people see, but it's genuine. And he's a good man and a good teammate, and played a hell of a game for us tonight.
We'll go to Justin Emerson.
Justin.
Hi, Pete. I guess how long had you decided that you were going to go with Robin Lehner for this game? And how much, if at all, did Fleury's play at the end of the 3rd period last night affect your decision?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. The play at the end of the 3rd period had zero to do with the decision. You know, I just, I think during that 30-something days, the last month of hockey that Flowers played, I think we've had only 2 two situations where we've had more than a day off of rest. One of them was game 1 of this series. He was lights out on 2-3 days of rest when we started the series against Montreal in game 1. But it's impossible, not to wear the playoff trail, and from a fatigue point of view. So, the mishandle had nothing to do with it. We talked going into the playoffs about using our depth. Our depth's our greatest strength in this organization and with this team, in my mind. And we haven't been afraid to do that. We haven't been afraid to do it on defense. We've used 7. We haven't been afraid to do it up front. Sakura, Brown, different guys, Glasser's played a game. Different guys have come in and got the job done for us, and we're not going to be afraid to do it in net. It's the strength of the team.
Go to Jesse Granger.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Pete, you used the word "not afraid" a few times in there, and you've talked about you've taken guys out of the lineup after good games, after big wins. Can you talk about the pressures that a coach faces this time of year with the lineup decisions, and just kind of how you've stuck to your guns and gone with what you think is right in the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean that you hit it right on the head. My only responsibility is to the men in that room, and making sure that I'm making the right decisions in order to give them the best chance to win. And that's the only factor that goes into that mix when I'm making those calls.
We'll go to David Shane.
David.
Hi, Pete. I may have phrased this a little bit different had the outcome been different, but just how deep did you guys have to dig? How much did you guys just put into this game for this result?
Well, we did. Obviously, they pushed in the first period. I'm sure, despite the fact they won last game, I'm sure they weren't happy with their play. I thought, we carried a lot of game 3. So we knew they'd push. And the first period, we were just weathering the storm. Lenny made some saves. We talked between the first and second about getting into the fight and the battle a little bit more as a group and finding a way. And a lot of character in that room. That's not the first time we've faced adversity and risen to the occasion.
We'll take a couple more for the coach. Mark Spector.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Pete. I don't know if you've ever had an experience. I'm sure you have in your many years. Nicholas Roy scores this goal. His folks are in the stands. He's a kid from his little town in Quebec. He's probably scored this overtime goal in the Bell Center on his driveway like 5,000 times in his life, right? I don't know if you ever got a chance to score a goal in the old Maple Leaf Gardens, but can you riff on what it's like to see a kid like that score that goal? It must be kind of fun when you know him as well as you do.
Yeah, you're just so excited for him. I mean, you couldn't have a better ending and a better place and a better guy for it to happen to. English is a second language for him from the town he comes from. It's a tiny little town way up in northern Quebec. A lot of pride in him playing in the NHL, and then to come into Montreal and score an overtime goal like that in front of family and friends and everybody watching is it's a dream come true for a young guy. So you just gives you goosebumps.
Our last question will be Kevin McGrain.
Kevin.
Pete, about the goalies, but sort of bigger picture. I mean, what's the best way in your experience at all levels, really, of handling goalies, both of whom want to play, both of whom often deserve to play over the course of the season and playoffs? What's the best way a coach can approach that dynamic?
Well, I think you approach those situations like you do all situations with players, with as much honesty and integrity as you can. I think the message to the room, and there can't be any doubt in this, is that the decisions we're going to make are for one reason only, and that's to give us the best chance to win the next game. there's no other agenda. And I think, you know, if players know that, they can live with bad news.
Thanks very much, Pete.
Thank you.
That concludes our Vegas Golden Knights media availability. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.